Hello, this is one of my few monthly videos. I do them once or twice a month. Today is a good timing for a new video because some information has gathered together. There are many items which are there are few items which are very important nowadays. One is the collapse in the bond markets in the world. We know the Japanese bond market is collapsing terribly. They are receiving record high interest rates and cannot collect money. What record high interest means for a government bond, that means nobody wants their government bonds, so they have to give higher and higher interest rates to attract some money. But the problem is the existing banks who have the older loan papers uh, against their loans, they are like 1%, 1.5%. Now it's going to 3.5%. They are losing big on the bonds that they have in reserves. So we may expect soon a big bank collapses. Okay, they may be saved by governments, but they are definitely going to be failing very soon. Similarly, in the US, we have seen yesterday bonds of 30 year go above 5% annual, which the annual inflation rate expected by Fed is 2%. Now they are giving 5% for 30 years continuously. If nobody was suspicious about this, this is wonderful payment. Like you get 2% inflation for 30 years, you are guaranteed 3% net above inflation. But that's not the situation because the mortgage rates in the USA, they climbed to 7%. So because mortgage rates are given based on 30-year bonds, so 7%. How many people can keep buying houses with 7% interest rate? And this is not the end because the Donald Trump's tariff policy is causing a lot of havoc around the world. Besides, at the same time, they are rushing to pass a 3 trillion expense budget, which means cutting taxes means not meeting expenses at least in the short term. In the future, long future, it may be good because company can make more money because they are not paying the government. They can become more profitable. But this is not something that's going to show up early. The budget problems will show a lot earlier because you collect the taxes early, whereas uh, getting these companies to be profitable will show up much later, maybe 2 years and later. So basically, a wrong timing with making a soup of everything, mixing everything together, just like they did on the tariff policy. They attacked everyone: Europe, China, Japan, Britain, England, and they only made a deal with England so far. Japanese are not really willing to make a deal, and Europe is not willing to make a deal. So they mixed up things together very quickly. I don't know if they ever assume that they can get a quick response, but they cannot. So this is the first part of the story worldwide, which means interest rates are going up instead of going down. So we are expecting the Fed to take the interest rates down at least twice this year of 25 basis points. That's 0.5% basically. But on the opposite, looks like they have to increase the inflation, the interest rate, to stop the inflation that's going up. So it's the opposite is happening. And markets don't like increasing interest rates because it's a competition for the stock market. It's a competition for gold, everything. So we'll just wait and see. On the opposite side, gold loves inflation and stagflation, but the people who buy paper gold, paper silver, paper stocks, they in the short term they rely on this type of information. So long term wise, I see it very open to go up to many, many thousands of dollars in the future in terms of gold. Today's topic that maybe might be missed because among we are always checking for gold and silver, but as of today, the biggest winners is platinum and palladium. Why did this move up? Because Trump made a long 2 hour long telephone call to Putin, and palladium is the main product of Russia. So therefore, I'm checking right now the figures. Palladium is up above 2%. Platinum is up about 3%, 3%, 14. And the palladium 207, 2.06. Whereas gold is only up 0.5%, silver is only up 0.5%, platinum is up 3%, 2%, because these are used in cars, cleaning systems. So uh, they were not liked recently because their use in industry was getting less and less due to exhaust cleaning problem. So more and more cars are becoming electric cars. So that's why these two have been losing rapidly. Although palladium is much rarer product than gold, well, if you don't have a use for it and you don't use a palladium ring, so that's not rareness just doesn't mean you make a lot of money, because both of their prices, like palladium is only $996, where gold is $3,250. So it's about one third the price, much less found than gold. Platinum, similarly, it used to be more expensive than gold in the past, and it's also way down to $1,031. So these are extremely cheap, but there is a reason for them to be cheap. They are no longer used in industry. At the old times, they were used extremely in catalytic converters. That's the main exhaust cleaning system for regular gas. So basically, these are the situation. Now, on the Turkish side, there are bigger problems. Today, as you know, our stock exchange in Turkey was announcing profits and loss, mainly losses. The main idea of the losses are very high interest rates tried by the central bank to suppress inflation. However, today I was just out shopping, I couldn't find a place in the parking lot. I had to wait 3, 4 cars to get out so I can find a place in the parking lot. People are buying like hell. So it means inflation is a lot higher than their interest rates. People are spending, spending, spending. But on the other hand, they are spending because they are the rich 20% is spending, and they are in main big cities. So they are not affected by inflation. And the poor people who have less money, they are mainly affected. But also the industry is affected highly. Today, Vestel, the electronics giant of Turkey, we have a Vestel city. It's not like a factory; it's a city of factories. It's failing big. They said they are laying off 2,000 workers, but of course they are not saying due to the loss. They are saying to be more effective production. But on the other hand, the same company boss owns a big shopping mall in Istanbul, Zorlu Center. They said it's up for sale for 1.2, I think, billion USD, maybe. I'm not sure it's TL or USD. It's up for sale. It's such a big trouble. Well, if this was the only company, mega company, we would say it's specific to this company because they cannot sell televisions, this and that. But it's not. The Turkish automotive industry is crumbling. Turkish tractor industry, so its automotive industry and farming tractor industries are collapsing. They had big losses, and also the textile industry, which was the second biggest industry of Turkey, due to keeping dollar very low value compared to TL, or having excessive valuable TL. to draw foreign currency. It's backfired, and now the companies are collapsing, and all the textile companies left Turkey because they can find $160 uh, employment in Egypt and other countries, whereas in Turkey, although people are not happy with the salary, base salary, it's below the hunger line. But we have a statistical record which is called the basis of hunger for four-person family. The base pay is below hunger line, and almost all retirees are getting under hunger line payments in Turkey. Although it may sound higher in US dollar, prices are not like that. So we have $600 of base pay monthly compared to $160 of Egypt and other countries like Vietnam, Cambodia, Morocco, such countries. So all these industries are leaving Turkey, departing Turkey, carrying their plants overseas because they think it's very expensive for the salaries. Well, the result is not the salaries, it's the result of keeping the local currency very high valued so that they can pay back, because the major item of Turkey is not reducing inflation. That's the thing that's told to the public. The real reason is they ran out of foreign currency. So to draw foreign currency from other countries, they said, okay, bring me your currency. I will not devaluate your money. So I will pay it back to you close to what you get, and I'm paying 50%, interest per annum. So even if you lose 10%, 20%, you're going to still receive a lot of money with this carry trade. However, this is causing a big collapse in the industries, small businesses, and almost every industry is collapsing. So they have to decide whether they want the inflation to be reduced or foreign currency. As I said, my evaluation is nothing to do with inflation. They don't have foreign currency. They are very short of foreign currency. Although their reserves may look high, this is all borrowed money. None of it is local money. This is the swaps and other things which are extremely, and the net reserves, which were about to get a little high, just lost about 60 billion TL in 2 months after the arrest of the Istanbul municipality manager. And so they also today there's a court judge system working today for two businessmen which are head of the Business People's Association, TÜSİAD. So the result of this is also going to affect anyone who wants to come and invest in Turkey. They're all running away, and for a good reason, of course, as even the Turkish people Turkish investors are running away. So this is the reality, and they are only expecting hot money to come in, 10, 20, whatever billion they can find. This is the last stop in the desert, before the desert. So, well, what's after the desert? Maybe the IMF. I don't know. It's getting very, very problematic in Turkey. Now, today's announcement of Vestel company, and all before there was no such an announcement. Although we did see many losses in the main biggest companies, biggest holdings of Turkey. We didn't hear of laying off, closing, selling their valuable real estates, shopping centers, this and that. Today is a big marking day for that. So I don't want to keep this video too long. It's a monthly video. What about gold? What about silver? I already mentioned palladium and platinum. Gold, as you know, we are almost at the end of May. We will see some movement sideways, little up, little down, but I expect it to continue unless something very big happens, out of the box happens. It can happen because with Trump we can see everything every day. So I think it is going to stay between $3,000 and $3,500 per ounce. But there is a surprise side for people who are from Turkey, who are investing in Turkish lira. We may see a sudden devaluation, because how long can these companies resist the collapse? And who are you going to tax if all your companies go bankrupt? Who are you going to? And the banks don't look too bad, because they are not applying inflation accounting. Companies are applying inflation accounting, so we can see the terrible result. But for the banks, on purpose not to look terribly bad, they are not applying inflation accounting. So things are not at a very breaking point. So for Turkish people, it may be wise to put your money in TL and get 50%. However, there is a big risk of devaluation, which may happen. Some people are saying it's summer season, there will be tourists coming, so we can get by this maybe 2 more, 3 more months. But then it's a scary investment situation. So maybe if you want to get use of the both, you have to find another thing which is based on foreign currency, just in case. Uh, you should have both. So I cannot advise either one, but mainly I am always investing in this type of situation since last 2 years, mainly uh, in gold. And now I'm saying, if you want to buy a house, something like that, today the house prices increases came. But another item that's looking funny, just like this companies collapsing, is the house prices are not increasing as much as inflation. But that's no worries for me, because during the last year, US dollar only increased 19%, less than 20%, whereas the price of the inflation was about 50, 60%. So dollar just increased 20%. So if you compare the house prices, they increased about 33%. i'm not con- uh, I'm not adding the rentals, which are about 6% without inflation in every country. Um, so uh, we did receive about 40% if we are renting a house, or if you are not paying a rent by staying in our house, 40%. Whereas dollar increased only 19.5%, 20%. So although we may look like we lost big in terms of investing in a house in Turkey, on the opposite, in US dollar terms, we made twice as much in dollars. Okay. Just so that's how funny these numbers are looking, due to suppressed rates for foreign currency. So once you play around with the let's say the meter or the foot or the measure, if you have a rubber measure extending and getting narrow, all the measurements you make are worthless. Okay, so all the comparisons you are making is worthless. So we just have to be patient, and knowing that things are very cheap in US dollar terms in Turkey, either you should be patiently collecting them, not worrying about 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, wait for the big deflation, devaluation to, maybe partial, small devaluations to come up, but or just trust the system and put all your money in local currency, and see you in other side of the world, in hell or heaven. Okay, so I'm finishing this video. Excuse me for sometimes I'm not remembering the exact words right at the time, because I'm making these English videos only once a month or twice a month. So you need to practice. Although I'm listening to a lot of English channels, YouTube videos, listening and talking are different. So if you are a listener, you should also practice talking, because like the easiest thing when you learn a foreign language, reading it, because reading you have a lot of time, and you can just solve the problem even if you have a little bit of that foreign language. But talking is difficult, reading is much easier. Okay, so these are normal. So That's why you need to practice, just like I need to practice to talk in English. Okay. So I wish you all a happy, nice day. We'll just wait what happens worldwide. In Japan, there may be a carry trade collapse, and in the U.S., we'll just wait what the boss says. Trump boss says, and what things get mixed up and messed up more. So it's just take your position and wait time. Okay, summertime. What they say: sell in May, go away, or buy in May, don't look at it at all. Okay, so see you all later on. Bye bye.